I'm Stu Mitchell. I'm the founder and CEO of Novuson Surgical. Novuson is developing a new type of energy platform that will eventually replace everything that's on the market, making surgery safer, more effective. So the company was spun out of the University of Washington. This is technology that my students and I worked on at the university, which we worked on for numerous years. It's an ultrasound-based technology. We call it direct therapeutic ultrasound. And what we are trying to do is eliminate all the excessive damage to patient's tissue and the burning and charring and the associated smoke that goes along with the excessive damage of the current surgical devices. Well, the surgical smoke in particular causes a lot of health hazards. So it contains viruses, bacteria, cellular material, so the surgeons and staff can develop respiratory issues with it. They can get cancer from it. And as far as the patients go, the excessive damage that happens to their tissue, that can cause a lot of different complications as well. So the real main problem with the current technologies on the market is they operate at very high temperatures and they develop smoke. And when that happens, the surgeons cannot see what they're working on, so they can accidentally bump into other tissue, cause damage that's unintended, and that all leads to surgical complications. Novuson's product, it basically works like all the other devices on the market. It's what's known as a sealer divider. It's an electrosurgical device. We have energy transducers in the tip of it. You clamp it on the tissue, you activate it. It sends ultrasound energy into the tissue. The ultrasound welds the tissue together. Then it changes the modality of the ultrasound, and the ultrasound can cut the tissue. So we use pure ultrasound energy to weld tissue together, cut tissue. So it makes it to where it's the most efficient way of doing energy transfer into tissue. The surgical energy market is about $10.2 billion worldwide. That's the total addressable market. I think there's 410 million surgical procedures performed worldwide on an annual basis. About 90% of those procedures used energy technologies in them, and all energy technologies on the market have this type of problem. There's two main technologies on the market. The first technology is called radio frequency. It uses electricity. It transmits electricity from one side of an end effector to the other side of it, and that cauterizes the tissue, runs at very high temperatures. And then they use a mechanical knife to cut the tissue. So again, it's class of sealer divider for providing access to different organs and things like that. So that's one of the technologies. The other main technology on the market is called a harmonic device. So it uses a ultrasound transducer to move a metal waveguide at ultrasonic speed. So it's basically using friction to cut through the tissue. So it's basically doing this. And those operate at extremely high temperatures. And again, it burns the tissue because of the high temperature and generates the smoke, so the surgeons can't see what's going on. Our Novuson's technology will be the only technology that does not excessively damage the patient's tissue or doesn't generate surgical smoke. The really cool thing about our technology, other than it doesn't get really hot, is that we can be integrated to any type of surgical platform. So whether it's a robotic surgical device or an endoscopic device, laparoscopic assist devices, we can integrate our technology to any of those type of surgical platforms. So what you can expect from Novuson in the future is actually to see not only our laparoscopic and general surgical instruments coming on the market, but us integrating our energy technology into other surgical platforms. We are in the very final stages of getting our first product to market. So we're about 95% of the way to having our devices ready to do regulatory filing. And that's what we're here at the LSI to do, is raise funding and look for strategic partners and get that last step through, and then we'll get on the market. It's about 6 to 9 months. The key milestones that we've achieved over the years is bringing on strategic partners. So we've had strategic partners. We've done a preliminary proof of concept for a surgical robotics company to show that our technology could be done in that, in a surgical robot. And we've brought in about $3.25 million worth of non-dilutive funding from the grants. One of our big accolades is that our first grant that we received a perfect score on it. So the granting institutes recognize that our technology is going to be very impactful. And we've been voted one of the most fundable companies by Pepperdine University just down the road here, as well as, top 5 and 10 medical device companies to watch.